Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 15 of No Silver Linings. My name is Merrick, and I am your keeper. And I am keeping these investigators in check as they make a dash out of the dark, wet, and dreary caves of the Silvermines, County Tipperary. Quick recap on where we left it off. Our investigators plunged into the mines and encountered a couple of obstacles and strange occurrences. Ulick and Benson heard voices echoing from deep within the cave. Shook, but willing to keep marching forward, the investigators came to a fork in the road, a flooded path and a very claustrophobic, tight, jaggedy rock-type path. They elected for the latter and were able to shimmy through unscathed, until venturing deeper into the mines where they had to equip their gas masks in order to avoid the very hazardous conditions of silver nitrate deposits contaminating the air. Eventually, upon reaching the end, they found a 20-foot drop. Ulick, with his broken arm, was unable to descend it, so he and Benson decided to stay as a counterweight so that Charlie and Professor Miles could climb down using the rope that Charlie procured earlier. Within this large, kind of encased area of the mine, they found, encased in this crystal-like stone, this eldritch horror, the size of a double-decker bus, a mass of tentacles frozen in place in the stone. The only thing that seemed to be moving were the three eyes, the milky white eyes that kind of swirled like a miasma that enthralled the two investigators at first. But Montgomery Miles, he was very steadfast and was able to repel the indoctrination that this thing beheld. But unfortunately for Charlie, he was overcome and thought it was the best idea in the world to try and release it. However, with quick thinking and a little bit of extra elbow grease from Benson and Ulick, they managed to pull him back up and stop him from doing that very thing. But left alone with this gigantic creature, Professor Miles lighting the dynamite, lighting it shorter. Before we get into that, let's introduce our investigators. Dave, would you like to introduce Ulick?
Hey, hi, I am Dave. I am the DM for the Saffron Saga and Journeys to the Radiant Citadel over on the Twitch side of the Emerald Collective. Tonight I'm playing Ulick O'Shea, who is a World War I veteran who saw some Eldritch Horror type stuff in the trenches and was subsequently sectioned and then returned to his hometown of Silvermines, where this whole thing is based, and then saw some weird shit, but he is now obsessed with the occult and has a nice catch-all phrase for anything out of the ordinary, which he says is called the puka.
Very good, thank you, sir. Next up, then, we have Ryan.
Hi, guys. I'm Ryan, aka Deranged Rhino. I'm your friendly neighborhood wizard. That's Bodhi.
Never fails.
And never fails. And I am going to be playing Professor Montgomery Miles, a mild-mannered professor, linguist, and also trained in psychology, which is why he knows that Charlie needs to get the fuck out of here right now, and also that this thing has no power over me.
No, it does not. No, it does not. Thank you very much, Ryan. Next up, then, we have Keith.
Hello, my name is Keith, and I am playing a Charlie Release Me Mitchell, who does need to get the fuck out of here, but doesn't think so at the moment. Charlie is our occult obsessed, fumbling and bumbling landlord, and I am personally hoping that he gets his shit together and doesn't dive headfirst into a stick of dynamite and eldritch horrors. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Thank you, sir. And last but certainly not least, we have Dean.
Hello, everybody. I am Dean, of course. Last time I checked, or Dino Bags, for anybody that knows me online. I am playing Benson Cartwright, somebody who wants to get delved elbow deep into the strange and unusual. Unfortunately, we're now neck deep. Funny, I met these guys at a nightclub where we all wore the same shirt, and we've been friends ever since. But yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying, as Benson Cartwright, seeing all the weird stuff, and very excited about to see where it's going to go.
All right, and thank you, guys. Let's bring the curtain up once again. The three guys holding Charlie down as he's trying to crawl his way back down into this pit. Montgomery, flick the lighter. You light the fuse. It starts to burn. I give it over to you, sir.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and climb out.
Let's do it. You, I take it you just kind of chuck the dynamite somewhere around there and you run straight towards the right angle that is 20 foot up. You make that climb roll, sir.
So yeah, just to make sure I'm throwing the dynamite where it's going to be placed best to collapse this thing.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Anywhere at all in this kind of area is fine. So you just rolled a fumble, my friend. That's a 98 over 20.
Oh, the dice have abandoned you, buddy.
I take it pushing it won't do anything.
Not sure if you can actually push a fumble, but go on, let's do it anyway. How are we pushing this roll?
Okay, so he runs up initially, trying to climb up and clamber, and just realizes that this part of it's wet rock, or like wet rocks and like mud and stuff. And then he finds, or he looks for the place where he initially got his footholds in when he climbed down, to see if he can use that to lever himself up enough to keep going. Go on, climb, please work.
Professor Miles, you climb, and taking the wet rock into account, you make it halfway up. Your hand slips.
See him do this?
Yep, you're dangling by one hand, 10 foot up. Your hand slips. You fall flat on your back. And you're going to take some damage, my friend. You're going to take 2 points of damage, and you've just lost about 20 seconds. 2 minutes, 10 seconds remaining.
Get out of here! I'll be safe. Go now.
Can Benson just, by holding him at the back of the scruff, bounce him off the ground? Just try and give him that wee boom to bounce Charlie Mitchell off the ground, like fucking wise up. Take the knife and cut the rope. Chuck it down.
Sure.
You know,
yeah.
Just take the knife, cut the rope, and throw the rope down, because it's still.
Sure. I'll take care of Charlie. You do the rope.
Yeah, no problem.
And he'll give Charlie a slap.
All right.
Yeah. So I just bounced him off the ground. You know, like he's on the ground, and I've just lifted him up about an inch or two and give him that jolt.
Yep.
Tuck the knife, cut the rope, and then wrapped it around my arm to.
Alright, you throw the rope down, you get a handle on Charlie, who's still writhing there, slapping him, seems to do nothing. And you throw the rope down, 2 minutes, 10 seconds. Monty, you get to your feet. You take it you're going for the rope.
So yeah.
Make that climb roll again, and you can roll it with a bonus die because Benson's helping.
Oh shit. I pull him down.
you look up, I've got the. Oh no.
That's a failure, 57 over 20. Bonus penalty.
47 over 20 with the bonus die.
With the bonus, which is a second
There's
failure.
nothing I can do to help him from up here. It's just.
No, that's all you can do is just hold the rope for him.
I would have liked to have said that I used the lighter to just burn his chin and try and, I don't know if that would help, or if that would shock him out of the state he's in.
Can we ask Keeper what mechanically is going on with Charlie now? As a player, do I know what's going on? Because I did some tests, I did some rolls earlier on, and I passed some and I failed some. So what way is it?
Your mind has been dominated by the will of, well, you never actually learned its name. This eldritch being's name is Thogradoth, but it has
Thogradoth?
Yeah, it has dominated your mind.
Holy God!
So just like intense pain, like the heat of a lighter under his chin.
It's not going to do anything right now.
Fuck, okay, good to know.
And mechanically, there's no this. Do I know? Is there any kind of?
There's nothing at this moment in time that you can do. Just for now. Yeah.
It's just writing it out.
You've kind of lost your autonomy, unfortunately, just for right now.
No, that's all cool.
Professor Miles.
I was going to say, as this rope goes down and Professor Miles grabs hold of it and like tries to pull himself up, he realizes that he's still slipping because of the slime and stuff on his hand from the rocks. But then he just uses his feet and digs deeper. And I'm going to use the 27 points of luck to get up this fucking rope.
Okay. Takes you a few seconds to do it. You're down to about 1 minute and 55. You climb as fast as you've ever climbed before. And Benson just kind of pulling as you're climbing as well. And you manage to get up to the top. Minute 55 remaining. And
Go! It's lit! Run! Now!
Like fuck.
Okay, you're going to be impeded a little bit because Charlie is not really in the mood for leaving at this moment in time. However, if it's up to you, however you kind of usher him might change the situation. I don't know.
I'll grab his legs, and then you two can grab one of each of his arms.
We have to get through the narrow passage.
We just throw him through it.
Outside of character, Benson will probably shoot him.
Yeah, a eunuch's there as well. He has the rifle, and he's probably just gonna stick it into his mouth and pull the trigger.
I mean, you can just let him go and he'll run back to the... Oh no, because he'll run back to try and escape.
We've only lit
trying to
one
release
stick
the
of
RA.
dynamite, isn't that right? We've only lit one
Oh,
stick.
no,
he tied them both together.
Oh yes, I was going to light one and give him to Charlie and go, there you go.
Can we knock him out and then just fucking drag the body?
Good. Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking hit him with the butt of the rifle.
Charlie, you get an opportunity to dodge or fight back. I'll let you decide.
I think if he's getting whacked with the butt of a rifle, if it doesn't knock him out straight away, I think he'd probably try and fight back.
Okay, so Ulick, make a fighting brawl roll, and also Charlie, make a fighting brawl roll.
Ulick's got a 64 over 25.
Benson, you can do it as well if you're getting the butt end of your pistol.
I'm hitting him with the knuckle dusters.
Lads are just wailing into poor Charlie.
And I'm just shouting, pineapples, and hitting him in the forehead.
I got 74 over 25.
Brawl.
So that's even a bigger.
6 out of 65.
Oh shit!
Holy shit! An extreme success.
6 over 65.
So Ulick comes in with the butt of his shotgun, goes to hit Charlie at kind of the front of the forehead, but Charlie just ducks out of the way and Benson comes up from behind. Because it was an extreme success, Charlie, I'm not going to ask for a con roll. You get him at the back of the head with the butt of the pistol. Charlie is out like a light.
Let's go, lads! Fucking run!
A minute and 45 seconds remaining.
Grab that prick and let's go!
Go!
I was going to throw him over his shoulder, just, god damn it.
I tell you now, lads, we get out of this, don't ever anyone tell anyone I fucking rescue the landlord.
Get out of there! Let's go! Run!
You run and run as fast as you can down the mine shafts, using only memory, as you don't really have time to consult a map, but you run and run and run. You make it past where the high levels of silver nitrate were. You ignored, you're wearing your gas masks, you're fine. You keep going and going and going. You get to the pool of water and the claustrophobic passage with a limp Charlie Mitchell in tow. How are we navigating? You're down to a minute and 20 seconds.
Just pulling through.
I've got an executive decision. Try and pull him through and wake him up, and if he runs back, let him fucking go, or try and drag him through unconscious.
Drag him through unconscious. Ulick will just drag him through.
Okay, I take it Ulick, you're going first, kind of having Charlie's arm, and then whoever's behind him is just
Benson's
pushing
going
him.
behind him, shoving him.
Okay. He's going to be covered in fucking scrapes, but we'll get him through.
I need you all, everyone except for Charlie, obviously, because you're under the size anyway, and you're unconscious. You guys need to make a size roll with a bonus die, because I told you I would give you that little boon.
Yes, size 54. I'm going to roll the bonus just to see if I get an
You
extreme.
have a bonus die.
Come on.
You can roll again. Yeah, you can get it. You roll the exact same.
Okay, so I rolled a 90 over 60, so with the bonus die, I can re-roll the 10s
Yes, correct.
on the dice. So here it comes.
Come on. One.
If you would get stuck, you all get stuck.
7.
10 over.
So I need... No, it's 70. Yeah, 10 over. I do not have 10, look. Can I push that?
You can, yep.
Can I push all of them through as I got a hard success with 15 over 17? Can I just literally jam them?
Because you're at the very back, that's not going to fly, my dude. When Ulick is the only one who's stuck. But Ulick, if you want to push it, you can, yeah.
So halfway through,
Halfway through,
the arm is in a sling. He'll take the sling off, he'll dislocate the shoulder, and he'll just move it around. So it's not in front of his chest anymore. It's like it's the wrong way.
In there.
But it's in the air, and it's like, so what do I re-roll? I just re-roll the size.
Re-roll the size check, yeah.
That's an epic push. Well done.
Success!
He pushing
That's
it
some
works.
fucking lethal weapon shit
I'm
where it
going to
dislocates the
shoot my
shoulders.
legs
Yes.
in your honor. Not a
That is
problem.
a 57 over 60, which is a success. Ulick, you just take the sling off, and you see a nearby jagged rock, and you just jostle it. And everyone else echoing the cave, you hear that of the shoulder just popping out, and Ulick, you just let out a fucking
He roars.
and you just fling that arm, just kind of, it just looks limp, like the forearm is broken and the shoulder is dislocated. It's just bobbing over your head, and you are,
Here, take a health push.
and you push yourself 1 hit point damage, and you push yourself through. And you take in a deep breath, and the pain just between using that arm to pull up Charlie earlier, dislocating now, the adrenaline rush, you just don't even, it crosses your mind that you may not even ever use this arm ever again, but right now survival is all that matters, and you push yourself through, scraping your back and your belly against these sharp rocks as you pass through. The rest of the guys follow, Charlie dreaming sweet dreams all the while.
He's dragging Charlie, yeah.
And you get out the other side. About 30 seconds left on the clock.
Monty got through, yeah? Monty got through the...
Yeah, everyone got through, yeah.
I would just barrel in to get behind a rock or something.
Benson's got him on the shoulder. Benson's got Charlie on the shoulder.
King's chairing him, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, and as you run and run and run, you can see the intermittent flash of lightning at the top of that kind of 30-degree angle incline up towards your exit. You can see it. And then from behind, you just hear this. And you can just feel this stream of pressure just come straight up from the mine shafts, following this large eardrum bursting explosion, and it just sends and you guys are just all sent. Can I ask you all except for Charlie to make a dexterity check, please?
Charlie just flying through the air.
Oh yeah, he's yeah.
You had another
right
failure. 89 over 45.
This is don't worry. This is just more for
Even carrying a body gets extreme success. Oh my goodness.
Extreme success.
Great success.
Benson just throws the blue steel out of
9
him.
over 55 for Dean for Benson, and Monty gets a 10 over 35 for a hard
So what happens when
success.
you've dislocated your own arm to save a landlord?
Yeah,
Tell
Ulick's
nobody
got
that happened.
89 over 45, which is a proper failure.
Benson and Monty are just holding hands, dancing up the hill.
So this stream of pressurized air just it catches you all and you're all just blasted forward straight out the mouth of the cave in through the cabin. Ulick, you catch like your the base of your back and your legs off one of the hinges of the door that you came through into that room. Charlie, you're just flung like a rag doll out into the hall. Benson, Montgomery.
Sorry, I don't want to jump in, or I don't want to annoy you, but I want Benson to like land on his heels and slide backwards.
Sure.
Just
Yeah.
Nice.
And
3
Montgomery,
point
you safely land as well, kind of avoiding the blow. Ulick, you take another hit point. Charlie, you take a hit point of damage.
Ulick's almost dead.
And yeah, Ulick is battered. The complete left side of his body is just non-functioning. Battered, bruised, cuts, scrapes, you name it. Ulick's got it.
Just for the listeners, Ulick's at 2 hit points out of 10.
The rocks behind you crumble and fall. If you had been a few seconds behind, you would have been crushed in the rubble. But you stand, well, some of you lie, but there in the cabin. And the cabin is now starting to fall apart. You're not in any danger. It's kind of the roof is kind of already half come down, but the walls are just starting to kind of crumble a bit. You pick yourselves up, to kind of step out into the pouring rain. And as I said earlier, a stiff breeze would knock it. It's not long before the torrential rain and the howling wind just topples the shack over to its side. And it appears that the mine has been sealed. You all stand there, not really sure what you've just borne witness to. Charlie, still unconscious. Ulick, very, very worse for wear. And Montgomery and Benson, you just stand there as Charlie's eyelids kind of flutter a little bit, and you see him awaken. Now that Thogradov, as you don't know him as, is buried for good, you have your facilities back, Charlie, and you can think clearly. The last thing you remember is just climbing down the rope. You don't remember anything about milky eyes or anything.
Oh, all right. Charlie,
you're just
will
outside
wake
the
up
mine.
asking, what happened? We're alive? Did we find anything?
It seems you passed out from oxygen deprivation down there. We've dealt with it. The mine is closed.
What?
Shush. Yes. What? Yeah. It's your. We dealt with the issue. You are fine.
Well done. Sorry, I wasn't more use. Did we? We got it for sure. We're happy. It's done. Is it done?
It is indeed done. Yes.
Benson's going to take the gas mask off because he's still wearing it.
Yeah, Ulick will take his off as well.
Like Jim Raynor, like Jim Raynor with the goggles with the orange hue. Takes the stogie out. It's done, at least to the best of our knowledge. You did well, Charlie. And I'm staring at him like waiting for him to do something twitchy.
No, you just have a really bad pain in your head, Charlie.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
At the back of your head specifically.
That's right, you fell. He fell.
if there's anything nearby, you like at this, like Ulick's a very straight down the middle and like no bullshit kind of guy. He will always speak the truth. He sees what's going on here. He doesn't like it, so he'll roll over, and if there's a fucking sign or anything that he can just unload those 2 shotgun shells at, he'll just go.
Oh yeah, like I mean,
For fuck's sake! And he'll just throw the shotgun away. And
The shotgun breaks his other arm.
He'll look at Benson and he'll look at Monty and he'll fucking shake his head, and he is livid.
Like, Benson's going to walk over to him and say, "We'll tell him another time. I don't think it's quite the right time."
Fuck off.
Not a problem.
Of all people that have things they remember they don't want to, I thought you'd understand.
I've spent time in a fucking institution where they tried to convince me shit didn't happen. The best way I could have gotten over it was by fucking facing those demons head on. You don't get to tell me what the best way is to deal with shit that you've seen. It's your first time seeing this kind of shit.
Well, it's lucky I'm not asking you that.
Well, I'm telling you, you prick. Now, you've been on your little holiday. You've been on your little jolly. You've come off to Ireland to see the fucking fancy shit. You too as well, you yank prick. And you, the rest of you, fuck off out of here. You're no more welcome in Silvermines. I hope I fucking never see you again.
Well, I think, considering all of our efforts here, I find that quite disrespectful, but I accept your position.
Ulick just gets up and starts to walk away. Just hobbles back to Silvermines.
We have the car here. Do you want to lift?
I'll be fine. And he's now like the Bull McCabe, where he will suffer the fucking indignity of the rain and everything else, and he'll just walk back by himself because he's a stubborn son of a bitch.
That's kind of then left. Benson's going to stick about Silvermines just to watch after him. Doesn't like to leave a man behind. Might move into that dead man's house.
Well, as presume Ulick kind of makes his own way back down to the village, and you all retreat back towards kind of Eugene's house, and then down that dirt trail to where halfway up Charlie's car was, and you venture back, and it's around the time that you all kind of enter back into the village. Ulick, you kind of aren't there at this moment in time, but as the 3 of you venture back to the village, you find that there's a lot of the villagers out on the streets kind of looking at you guys returning from Mountain Trail. The explosion would have been quite loud, as well as the shotgun blasts in the distance. They, from the crowd in the centre of the village emerges Cathal Sullivan. He says, it's okay, and you also see Peter Houlihan kind of standing back in the back of the crowd, away from the crowd, and he kind of comes up to you, gents, and says, we heard an explosion. What happened? And you just looking beyond him, you just look over and you catch a glimpse of Peter Houlihan. He just gives you a nod, and he kind of just retreats back.
It seems that the prognosis of your brother was correct. He was indeed poisoned by an air-infused nitrate within the mine. We found the area of which was the problem, and we decided to close the mines. So, yes, they are shut down now.
You closed the mines? What, did you blow it up?
Yes.
You fucking bet your sweet ass we did.
But did you find... You said you found out what happened to my brother.
He was indeed poisoned by this silver nitrate, we believe.
By whom?
It was a natural resource that had built up within the mine. Yeah, you can probably see, and like Monty will like brush off his jacket a little bit to kind of show as it specks off a little bit.
But how did he end up in the Mountain Trail? He was shot by Eugene Grace. It makes no blasted sense.
It seems that he was, I suppose, looking to see if the mines were going to reopen, I guess. Seeing if it was a worthwhile thing to pursue.
Is there a church or a steeple or anything about it?
Yeah.
He's like God-fearing?
There's a church at the very top of the village, just at the foot of the mountain.
Benson's going to step forward, not to try and take the limelight, but just to give the shoulders broad, get a bit of attention, and just say, well, we found the darkness. It's definitely real. I don't know what you believe or what you don't believe or what you've seen, heard, or experienced, but we've seen the darkest pits of hell, and that can only mean one thing. And I'm going to take the ornate Bible out and throw it on the ground in front of me. that whatever's in here is real as well, so there's gotta be light. The guy who lives in that corner, you'll fucking listen to him, or you'll answer to me. We put a stop to something that was gonna end all of you.
You're kind of looking out at the crowd of people who are on looking. You can actually, the three of you make a psychology roll.
You son of a bitch, right at the end.
It was the villagers all along. I'm just kidding.
It's the thing I'm the
5
best
over
at.
10.
Is that including me or including you?
That's including Charlie, yeah.
Do we get a bonus
Excluding
roll
you.
at all?
Nope.
Can I push it?
Yeah, can I push it?
Ooh, yeah.
Or heads
Yeah,
explode.
sure. If you kind of enunciate on how you're kind of pushing that roll, I guess.
So this is us trying to glean.
So you can see the people in the crowd behind Cathal O'Sullivan, and you're trying to get a read on him, basically.
Okay, I'm going to look towards the people we'd met previously. So there was the lady from the library, if she'd be there. There was also what was her name? So that was Kira Malloy. I can see if Sean Doyle was there as well.
So you're just looking out for particular people. Okay.
The people that we've met and spoke to properly to see what their demeanor is. Yeah.
Go ahead and roll that psychology roll again.
Benson's not trying to read anyone, I'm trying to scare them, trying to intimidate them.
Okay, so I got a 78 over 75. I will use the 3 luck points to make that work.
Drop it down to nothing.
Just for reference point, I got 23 over 10 and Dean got 85 over 10.
Put a tick next to psychology if you haven't already.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay.
yeah, you kind of take that extra second to kind of look about the crowd. Now you don't see Kira Malloy, you don't see Sean Doyle, but you do happen to get a read on the crowd's expressions. And as Benson says, as he said, about the people now being safe after hearing an explosion up in the mountains, you can see that the kind of younger generation in the crowd, maybe 40s or less, 50s or less, they're kind of looking at you with kind of like, what does that even mean? But you can see that the kind of people who are kind of like maybe 50, 60 years older, they're looking at you, kind of giving a kind of knowing kind of nod, as if they were kind of a little bit satisfied by that answer. And Carl says, "Well, look, come inside. Heavens me, I think the police might be here soon. We will talk to them and we'll get that all straightened out. And yes, please." And he brings you inside. And
Just before we head in.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, no, just because it's just before we head in, Monty will turn around to the group as well and be like, as my friend here said, you should be thankful to Yulu. He very much had a massive hand in saving this town, so I think you should give him more credit than you do. And then I'll head in.
Okay. So a couple of hours later, the authorities do arrive. You would have arrived home by now. The authorities have come and you kind of straighten everything out, and Carl does a lot of kind of he puts a kind of a fancy weave on the words. And I suppose in general, the aftermath of the explosion was that you feel very confident in the fact that you have indefinitely buried this eldritch horror in the mountains, and that the authorities have been kind of convinced, even though there was no official requisition for explosives or no official paperwork done for a controlled explosion, that this kind of situation was overlooked. Maybe there was something extra Cathal did on his part to kind of smooth out the situation, but nevertheless he is very thankful for what you all did, and he is even willing to pay you plus the bonus he promised, so you all get paid a very handsome sum for the services rendered.
I think as well that, like, I know when we were kind of standing in front of the crowd, that Monty was kind of giving the public facing version of the story, there was poison and everything's normal. Go back to the thing. It's okay. I think, I don't know if we were successful in that, but we kind of tried to communicate. And once we got Carl kind of indoors and away, we would give him the full story and be like, yeah, we've settled it. This is what happened. Crazy cosmic abominations. threw a few sticks of dynamite at. It's all good.
I was just going to say, and as that, Monty would actually be telling Charlie what really happened. He was just waiting to see if he had got to a point where he was mentally capable, basically, to accept that information.
Corroborate, yeah.
I think actually, as Ulick was walking off up on the mountains, I think Charlie would have been like sitting up watching that. He would have been like, it happened again, didn't it? I think he would start to piece it together, and then during the talk down, he would have figured it out and asked the guys and come to that. Yeah. So that's.
Well, you're not 100% sure if Cahill 100% buys the story, but he is nevertheless thankful that you were able to grant some closure into the unfortunate death of his brother.
I think I would imagine at this stage that we're not overly interested if he's buying it or not.
No, you wouldn't be.
He can have it if he likes it.
Take it or leave it. But,
sure.
That brings us to the end of this scenario. You've investigated successfully and miraculously escaped with your lives, although you have managed to acquire some memories that will stay with you for the rest of your lives. And Ulick, you will probably need to spend a little bit of time in hospital. Charlie,
rehab.
Charlie, kind of stuff coming back to him. Probably needs to spend a week or two, maybe in a facility to kind of correct his thoughts a little bit. But let's do a little kind of epilogue for this scenario. But first, I'd like to run you through the character development stage because we are finished the scenario. So firstly, I would like everyone to roll a luck roll, and you need to get higher than your score. So if your luck is 50, you need to roll a 51 or higher.
Oh, I should have bumped all my luck away.
This
back
is where Dave is going to increase all of his stats.
So I got an 86 over 9.
That's an improvement.
I got a 78 over 48.
Also an improvement.
I got 51 over 16.
Also an improvement.
I got a 5 over 26.
That you will not be improving your luck. Anyone who got higher than their score can roll a d10 and add that to their luck.
Bastards.
Hooray!
I enjoy it.
Maybe a 10.
I got a 10 as well.
2 10s and a 9.
Nice.
And Keith gets nothing. Nothing.
Also, for successfully overcoming the Eldritch Horror in the Silvermines, you all get 1d6 sanity back.
Mm.
Okie dokie.
You can roll
That's
that yourselves.
nice. Yes.
I got an 8. Yay! So that's 8 onto your luck.
You don't have to roll the sanity check. Just
I know. I keep forgetting to go into edit mode.
That's 56 luck. I ended up having more luck than I started with.
I got a 4.
Hey.
I presume we can't go over our initial sanity.
You know, you can go over your starting sanity. You just can't go over your maximum sanity.
That's yes.
What are we rolling for sanity here again?
You're not. You don't need to. But you. Sorry, a d6. Sorry.
Oh, to get back. Sorry.
Just to get back that amount. Now, also because you have Dean rolled a 1 for sanity.
Fuck that enough.
Also, because you encountered an Eldritch Horror, you all can give yourselves 5 points in the Cthulhu Mythos skill. But that also must mean you must subtract 5 points from your maximum sanity permanently.
And we have to do that.
We're adding 5.
You have to do that, yeah. You have to subtract from your max sanity. So your max sanity should be 99. It should be 94 now, and your Cthulhu Mythos should go up to 5. So we'll kind of you can be doing this in the background, but for any skill you have a tick next to, what you do is you roll the skill. And if you roll higher than the skill, you can make an improvement check, roll a d10, and that's what it improves by. If you roll under it, unfortunately, that skill does not improve. So the immediate events after the happenings in the Silvermines is maybe a day or two later, Ulick is admitted to hospital for some time, and Benson does check in every now and again. Maybe the first couple of visits, Ulick was asleep, or probably maybe pretending to be asleep, and Benson just kind of waited with him quietly, and maybe as time went on, warmed up to him a little bit, but that's up to Ulick. But on the other hand, then
he definitely wouldn't. Ulick sort of right now wants to be done with all 3 of these guys. As much as he hates how it ended, he doesn't want to establish any comradeship with anyone again since the trenches. So, like, a huge part of him, and a huge part of the reason he annoyed everyone in Silvermines was because he didn't want to make any friends, to lose any more. So he will work hard at sort of severing these ties here and now. Obviously, if we move on to something else, then maybe a reason why they regroup. But he will, you know, he doesn't want to be friends with these people.
And so it would come to pass then that anytime Benson would kind of show up and just kind of sit in a chair in the corner for a couple of hours, Ulick would either be genuinely asleep or pretending to be asleep. And around the same time, shortly after the events in Silvermines, Charlie has been having a few sleepless nights and waking up sweating and screaming, remembering bits and pieces of what happened in the mines, but very much so able to remember the happenings with the release me and the attack on him in the little outhouse in the pub. And he spends a couple of weeks in an asylum just to kind of get himself kind of mentally better. And after a few weeks, he's discharged, and maybe himself and Professor Miles kind of meet up on a semi-frequent basis afterwards. But ultimately, time does go on a little bit. So let's start with Dave. Did you make your improvement rolls?
Yes. So he went up in psychology by 5, and he went up in, I do believe, spot hidden and sleight of hand. He failed his stealth, and I think that was it. They were the only things he adopted.
You should have firearm shotgun.
Of course, yeah. Sorry. So let me do that right now.
Oh, I didn't do brawl and handgun.
So he won't go up in that.
Okay, very good. And let's then move on to Keith. How did Charlie do?
Charlie had points in, or ticks in fast talk, psychology, and library use. He failed his upgrade for library use, but for fast talk, he got +7, and for psychology, got a +4 to his normal stats, which brings him up to 52 on fast talk and 14 to psychology.
Very good, very good. Next up, Dean, would you like to talk us through Benson's improvements?
Benson failed the library use, which was raging at. I think I got persuade, be still on 35. The stealth I improved, it's up to 49 because I rolled a 9, so happy. And intimidation went up to 48, and then brawl went up to 74, and handgun I failed.
Okay, well able to throw a punch anyway, at least.
Yeah, I can punch bullets.
Very good. And lastly, Professor.
Okay, so I had a bump to first aid, which I failed / passed. That went up by 4 points. I also had a potential bump in history. However, I passed that, which meant I get no bump to it. Then I had medicine, which I got right, and I bumped that up by 3. With psychology also, but only just a 76 over 75. Got a bump to my psychology, of which then I rolled a 4, bringing my psychology now to 79. My sleight of hand, I also got a bump of 6 points. And then spot hidden was also bumped with a maximum roll of a D10 of 10, bringing it to 35.
Oh, yes.
Excellent work. So I just kind of summarized then the kind of 4 weeks after the events. As an epilogue, I'd like you all to kind of say, from 4 weeks to maybe a year, what your investigators kind of have been up to. So let's start with Dave.
So Ulick, once he gets out of hospital and gets his arm fixed, I'm not sure what state it's in.
It's you've a broken kind of.
It was his elbow, and then I think he dislocated
his shoulder,
the rest of it just to get out. So what he will do is he'll head back to Salonika, and which is where they fought the Bulgarians, and he will go back to the trench. And he has mentioned that 199 men just zombied out and walked and dug and uncovered a stone door in some sort of huge. They dug out some sort of massive trench and hole, and then they just shoved the door aside and walked in. And he was coming back from delivering a message and saw this, resisted a kind of a voice, and then a shell hit. And that's pretty much what gave him shell shock and obviously the stuff he saw. So he will go back to Salonika now that the war is over. The remains of the trenches are still there, and he'll sort of walk those lines where the trenches were. And if you're ever in France or you're ever in Germany, you can still see them, the sort of the difference in the earth. And he'll just walk it up and down, and he'll relive impactful battles that he had in impactful moments. And he'll, like, when he was told to go over the top, he'll remember going over the top, and he'll just walk from that trench to the next trench. Maybe that was the enemies, and just remember gaining ground and losing ground and gaining ground. But he will eventually just make that long walk up to where that shell hit and where he saw his men walk into that hole. And he'll sit down on the ground and he'll just cry and he'll weep. And his whole body will be racked. It's one of those cries where not just like gentle tears falling down, his whole body is just racked with powerful sobs. And then he'll get up and he'll sort of put his hand on his own shoulder and he'll say, "That's it, lad. You have to be good to yourself now. No one else will." And he'll walk with his head bowed, and he'll just make the long walk back to wherever the closest town is. And he'll just sit down and he'll look at the menu and he'll consider buying a big ass bottle of wine, but he'll just ask for some juice.
Can I ask you to make a sanity roll, please? This is just to see if you regain any point. Don't worry, this is a good thing.
Well, he's 60. Okay, all right. There you go.
Merciless.
Success.
So not on this occasion, you need to roll higher.
Okay.
Professor Miles, next 12 months in a nutshell, what's going on?
So the initial after event would be him kind of keeping an eye on Charlie maybe for a week, like just spending some time talking to him, trying to make sure that he's actually still with us kind of thing. Once he's kind of safe in the knowledge that Charlie should be okay, he would head back to the Psychological Society in London. And go back to his mentor, Frederick Walter Mott, and speak to him about what had happened and use his connections, if he can, to try and find out the researchers that had been here on those dates that we had found out from the maps and stuff, and try to find out exactly what it was that they had come away with and what they hadn't come away with, and the results and findings that they had found. Essentially, using this year to... He's going to be like writing his thesis on what had happened as well. So there is going to be a paper published about his findings, and hopefully using some of their stuff as also, co-findings as such. And yeah, he's going to then start looking into other aspects of this kind of thing that have been heard around the world. He's basically going to start investigating to see how many instances of this type of thing has happened.
Okay. Can I ask you to make that sanity roll, please?
Yes, of course.
Always ominous when you say that. Make a sanity roll.
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
So we got a roll above what our sanity is. Oh, that's going to be hard. Oh, okay, maybe not. 97 over 70.
You roll yourself a d10. This time you took to put the events you witnessed kind of on paper and really kind of analyze it from a psychological point of view. The haunting nature of the events still stick with you, but you're able to put some bit of scientific rationale on it, and it kind of helps your resolve. You gain 6 points of sanity back.
Oh, wow. Okay, awesome.
Benson, the next year in a nutshell, how does that go for Mr. Cartwright?
Well, apart from ghosting Ulick and following him, making sure nobody was giving him shit, and giving people shit that looked at him wrong, or give anybody that give Ulick a side eye a good stern talking to, all the while giving Sergeant Henry Fitzgerald just a wry smile, just walking past, like, oh, you're doing your job, right? But he'll make his way back to Washington. He will do a few trips to Salem. He'll be going to New York. And he's going to the families, every single family of anyone that was lost during any exorcisms he was near, any huntings he was part of, any cults that he couldn't save anybody from. Trying to tell them that, yeah, there's something out there. They weren't just mad people. There is definitely something out there, that they're not crazy, they're not haunted by anything, that there was something did this. And he's firm in his convictions. If there's something tangible, if he can put his hand around it, something he can shoot. It's something that can be reckoned with. The fear of a ghost isn't as bad as fear of a sheet. So he's got over his fear of the strange and unusual. Now knows it's actually real. It's something he can combat against. I'd say he would have started up with whatever cash he had left, a small PA group to feel out and finger out anywhere else over there. Near the end of his time, he's going to come back though. He wants to get back to Silvermines, and he's going to send telegrams out to Montgomery Miles, Charlie Mitchell. I'm going to go to Ulick and basically just say there's probably more to this.
So you knock on his door, do you?
Oh yeah. Well, I'd say I knock on the door and I sit down on the seat outside it.
It would be almost akin to the Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson movie where he
in
ignores,
Bruges.
It's set on Ackle, where he just ignores you for a day. The Banshees, where he just ignores you for a while, and like you're sitting on a seat outside his house, and he comes back after just a day. He doesn't drink anymore. He comes back and he's just like, "You're not gonna fuck off, are you?"
I'm going nowhere. Well, I mean, that's not true. I'm not going anywhere alone.
I had comrades. I had friends in the army. I lost them all. I don't want to put myself in that position again.
You're not putting us in that position.
No.
We're putting ourselves in that position.
I don't want to put myself in that position again. I don't know how much more loss I can deal with.
The only thing we can lose is everything.
I've already lost everything. Once. I don't know if I can go through it again.
Well, until you know you're able to, this is a comfortable seat. Benson's in spank new clothes. Sexy mofo.
You're an awful lot bollocks.
I am. I'm going to reach down and grab the same big, thick linen, or thick sort of woolen trench coat I've got, and throw under Ulick. Put it on. It rains here.
Hold on. Ulick will go into the kitchen. He'll find a bit of bacon, and he'll put it in front of the dog, the taxidermy dog on the mantelpiece. It won't be coming back. He'll throw the trench coat over his shoulders. He'll walk out, he'll close the door, he'll look to Benson sitting down and he'll go, I fucking hate you.
Well, that's where we differ, because I love me.
Let's go.
Let's go get the bookworms.
Benson, could you put Ulick O'Shea down as a significant person on your character sheet?
Oh, I'm going to kiss you.
And you can also make that sanity roll.
Where do I put that?
It should be at the very bottom somewhere.
Right, sanity roll, so 41.
You can get 1d10 sanity back.
Come on.
74 over 41? Yeah, that's 5.
Yes, not a problem. That's 46.
Charlie, what have you been up to?
I think Charlie, as you said, has to spend a little bit of time coming to terms with what happened, what he saw, the whole toilet tentacle incident, the hearing of things, the whole lot. And as Ryan said, Monty is going to kind of help out with that and look after him. So I think after a while, once he kind of gets back on his feet mentally, I think he'll go back to the Abbey in Templemore, where where he's from, where his family is, and that's like a big kind of estate house, which his family has run for generations. And he is, even though he's got like a kind of a British accent, he is Irish and he has been born and grown up here. But I think part of his interest in occult and stuff, which was kind of, he liked to think previously that it was very much authentic and stuff like that, but now he realizes how it was all completely theoretical and fantastical. But now that he's seen the reality of the situation, I think he would kind of not necessarily double down, but I think he'd go back with a renewed vigor. He has tons and tons of books about the occult. He has written papers on it. It's all been very theoretical, but now I think he's going back and it's almost like he's reading everything for the first time, because he's now knows kind of what to look for. And similarly, I think to some of the other guys as well, the other bookworm, definitely Monty, he's going back and now he's going to start trying to make connections again. I don't know if in that space of time he'll get around to actually visiting other places, because I think back then, well, I suppose in the 20s, I suppose there was still transport he wasn't like spending months on a steamboat getting to the States or anything like that. But yeah, he'll be going around trying to visit places. Definitely keeping an eye on Silvermines. I think he might even, depending on how things are going back at the house, he might start trying to make moves towards. He'll definitely be using whatever power and influence he has to keep the site from being reopened if he could, he would make moves towards kind of buying it and keeping it shut down permanently. I think he understands enough about Ulick as well to kind of stay behind the scenes. He would definitely kind of like make any attempts to visit him or whatever. But I think if not straight up give Ulick money and stuff to do whatever he's doing, he definitely wants to try to kind of like mysteriously or magically make Ulick's medical bills disappear. And I know Ulick it has Dave has mentioned Ulick is going back to visit the places where he was there. So yeah, I think that'll be it. He'd be kind of like, I'm not going to say he's going to go full on monster hunter, but he's definitely starting to walk down that road and kind of like he realizes now what's required. He knows that whatever they've seen, there's more out there because he has read about these things in other places. So he's going to start really starting to research that and prepare whatever things he thinks are required to deal with them and to get out there and make sure. Can I ask you, Keeper, actually, after, as we mentioned, the memories are kind of starting to come back, does he eventually remember seeing Thogrod Doth?
Yes, the eyes specifically, yeah.
So yeah, now that he's remembered that, he's like, fuck, these things are here. This is a real thing. Again, like that, I think the way he can mentally deal with that is throwing himself. He has the resources. He's a pretty smart dude, so I think he's going to throw himself like into his work. You know, people that go through things
rather than shy away from it. You kind of just
I think that's it.
You have into it, yeah.
Because I think like as I say, his family is kind of running the house, and it kind of runs itself. And he was a little bit, his interest in the occult had developed because he was kind of kicking his heels a little bit around the house. You know, he didn't have a lot to do, so now rather than be sitting around thinking all the time, he's like doubling down and getting into
strengthened resolve.
I would say that like once the interaction happens between Benson and Ulick, that he would be, after that moment, that he would be open to sort of rekindling friendships and relationships.
And I would like to think that Charlie, Benson and Monty are kind of, the three of us are like keeping in touch, definitely, both on a kind of like academic and research point of view, but also on a kind of Ulick watch situation, which is like, okay, this guy's dealing with his own stuff. He's rejecting us for legit reasons. So once that bridge is built, I think we're all like, choo-choo.
I don't think Monty would have any direct trying to speak to Ulick, just because he would know that Ulick, of his general demeanor, is obviously quite a stubborn man, but in his own right should be, but also knows that the best way to help and to deal with someone like that isn't to necessarily force them into a situation, but to rather let them breathe and let them get comfortable with themselves first. So I think that Monty would keep updates from him, but it would more than likely be as a result of Charlie telling him updates.
Benson would have been sending telegrams.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff. So
he's just head of shit.
Yeah. Monty knows better than to try and force Ulick into a conversation, which he doesn't want. And so he would give him his breathing room, but would still keep tabs by means of the other two.
Benson's also going to have that dead man's house.
That's Carl O'Sullivan's house. It's his family home. He's not just going to give it to you. He can even stay there. But
oh, I thought you were talking about Eugene, the farmer dude.
Oh, well, that would probably go up for auction, but you could probably buy it.
That one he's sitting at the front of it with a 6-shooter on my hip.
Before I forget, Charlie, can you make that sanity roll as you find a bit of resolve in your studies?
That is 84 over 51. What does that mean?
Roll a d10 and add that to your sanity.
Sure, I will do exactly that. Sure, you'll do it. Happy to.
Yeah, with everybody's kind of...
It's a 9!
Oh, very good.
Yeah, so I add 9 to my 51.
Yep, you do, so you're up 60.
Are hit points back up?
Yeah, your hit points are reset back to max because
72.
I'll tell you, that doesn't sound right at all.
It's
11. With that, with everyone kind of their last, the following kind of year in a nutshell kind of taking place, let's fast forward 18 months after the events in Silvermines. It is May 1921. Trinity College, Dublin. Professor Montgomery Miles is putting in a late evening. He was away from the desk, but he was on campus for the best part of the day. It's late enough in the evening. It's 7:30, 8 p.m. You come back to your office, Monty, to pick up some of your belongings before heading home. You open the door. Everything is as it should be, save for a piece of paper on your desk folded in half. You go over to your desk and you pick it up. You unfold it, and it says, Professor Miles, I came up to see you, but you were away. I hope you don't mind me leaving this note. I used one of the pieces of paper in your bureau. You know me from another department. We've spoken before, Professor Kieran Connolly, and I'm writing to you as I have uncovered an artifact that I would really love your opinion on. With your recent works on the occultish nature, I believe the symbology is a replicant of such a feat. I would love it if you could come down to my department, my office. Monday morning would be fine. And he signs it off. And you kind of think back on your published works, the events in the Silvermines. You did a lot of research with the help of Charlie and Benson, and you wrote your papers on it, and you had many kind of seminars and talks on your findings, and it was met largely with skepticism, but there was a few who met it with intrigue, and you met some kind of colourful academics from not only Ireland or Europe, but Germany, France, America. And it wasn't long, though, after the Silvermines paper was published that the British Museum were in touch with you and kind of had to force your hand in redacting some of that information. But it also, that letter from Professor Connolly makes you think about a previous paper you published years ago when you first kind of had a blossoming interest in the occult. It was a paper you worked on with your mentor, dating back to a different era, back to the 1800s. Stuff happening of the occultish nature. You sit back in your chair and you kind of tap the note on your desk, and you sit up and you go over to you stand up and you go over to your bookcase and you take out a book on the top shelf that you haven't retrieved in quite some time. You look at the cover of it. You need to have a read of it again because you're going looking at some of the occult stuff. The Era of the Body Snatchers by Dr. Professor Montgomery Miles. And that's where we're going to leave it.
Can I just add to that, that as he picks up the book, he puts it into his leather side satchel, puts that over his shoulder, puts on his fedora, grabs his whip, and heads out the door.
Kisses the teaching assistant.
And there you have it. That is the finale of No Silver Linings.
Mark, thank you so much.
Absolutely my pleasure.
It's happening again. It's happening again. It's happening again.
Awesome.
Mark, that was incredible.
Goosebumps.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Well, look, who's to say that this is the end? More
It's only the
adventures.
beginning.
I think our characters might wish it's the end.
Yeah, he would probably wish it was the end.
Well, look, who's to say that we might relive the accounts of Professor Miles's research and take a little time travel dip back to the 1800s with a fresh new-faced investigators. And look, we'll see where it goes. Thanks again, everyone, for playing. Thank you also, everyone, for listening. And we hope you enjoyed this scenario.
Absolutely, and please check out The Other Side of the House. We stream 4 nights a week, various TTRPGs on Twitch.
And of course, a massive thank you to Mark for such an incredible story.
Absolutely.
An
Amazing.
incredible GM, keeper, sorry. Yes, this has been an absolute pleasure to play. And I am very grateful for the fact that this is a game where I can roll well for a change. So,
Very appreciative of you running this as a keeper. I want to say DM as well. As a forever DM myself, I've played only a few games, and this has been the most immersive that I've got to play ever. And it is class.
Absolutely. And I would also like to say thank you very much, Mark, and thanks to the rest of the guys for playing. It was fantastic. If anyone that's listening there wants to torment, torture, and bring joy in equal measure to their friends and or players, head over to Drive-Thru RPG and check this game out. It's called No Silver Linings. It is a Call of Cthulhu adventure that Mark has written under his nom de plume, nom de guerre, Chinook Games. It is fantastic. There's fantastic illustrations in it by our friend Becca, aka Quadruple Bacon on socials.
Hungry.
You can't see them at home, unfortunately, because this is a podcast. but they are stunning and gorgeous. And it was just fantastic. So thank you very much, Mark.
You also have
for
a very,
doing that.
very cool instructional as to how you could run it
Exactly. Yeah. Now you know.
by the wizard himself.
So yeah, go out, grab it, and run it, torment, and bring joy to your friends.
See where it takes you. Will you get killed?
It can go any way. It all depends on the dice gods.
If you do buy it and you do play it, please shoot Sergeant Henry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, thanks very much everyone again, and thank you guys. It's been a pleasure, and we hope to see you back for more cosmic horror and adventure.
Bye.
Peace
Bye,
out.
guys.